And we are live on YouTube. I got a new laptop camera here that popped up on my actually my 4 monitors actually. So really excited to be here. Typically I don't come this late in the day Monday. Had a last minute patient cancellation. So I was excited to be able to jump on board with you guys and get some good questions answered and talk a little shop. So what's cooking? Let me know. Gabe writes in, during intermittent fasting hours, is okay to drink a smoothie with collagen powder or protein powder? So I think if you're doing intermittent fasting, some of the benefit you get from collagen is it tends to be less gluconeogenic. So what does that mean? It means that the amino acids in collagen are more connective tissue based, not muscle meat based, right? So like a lot of muscle meat, higher methionine, whey proteins, like more sulfury kind of based. The connective tissue amino acids that make up the true collagen or collagen peptides tend to be higher in hydroxyproline, proline, those kind of things. Leucine tend to be less gluconeogenic, meaning they're going to convert to sugar less. So that's kind of the benefit that you have with the collagen. Also, collagen is nice. I mean, it keeps your hair and your skin looking good. So I like that a lot. And it's not something that we get exposed to very much in our diet because we're not eating a whole bunch of skin and ligaments and tendons and cartilage unless you're drinking a lot of bone broth and you're also eating the skin on your chicken and such, which I love. The skin is like the absolute best part. So keep those questions coming in. What else you guys want to chat about? I think I surprised a lot of people. We don't quite have as many listeners chiming in as we normally do on Fridays and Monday mornings. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to kind of build up here and we'll chat a little more. What else is on your radar? What else do you want to chat about, guys? What's happening in the world of functional medicine? So I'll just give you a couple of clinical calls here. Just got off the phone with a patient. And this patient started adding back in some food, some FODMAPs, some fermentable carbohydrates, and started getting a lot of gas. So again, one of the big things we do is we got to add foods back methodically one at a time because we don't want to cause things like bloating and gas, things like that. This person wasn't quite into the killing phase with the herbs. So when we do a lot of killing with the herbs, adding in some of the fermentable carbohydrates can actually be helpful because the fermentable carbohydrates act like cheese on a mousetrap. So it kind of baits out some of these critters. So it's good to add some FODMAPs in, but we have to do it to tolerance. We can't do it to the point where it's causing lots of symptoms and problems. So it's kind of the happy medium of, okay, we starve them out and then we start to drip them back in just a little bit, put the cheese on the mousetrap and then pull the string, so to speak. Any tips for a heart murmur, maybe magnesium? So yeah, heart murmur, I always go to magnesium, potassium. Magnesium, potassium, make sure your minerals are going good. Make sure there's not much excess of caffeine, diuretics, those things. Make sure you're getting enough good water and minerals. That's a good first step. And of course, cut out the inflammatory foods. Next, Neil writes in, thanks for your info and advice always. You're totally welcome, Neil. Any questions, let me know. Mary writes in, is foamy urine a symptom of something bad? Potentially. I mean, potentially you could be peeing out some protein. There could be some kidney issues. Again, sometimes it's not. It would depend. Like if you were having complaints of a lot of foamy urine, I would do a microscopic urinalysis and see what's coming back just to be on the safe side. But if you had no other symptoms outside of just some foamy urine, I'd want to see what other symptoms are present. And then I'd probably run a microscopic urinalysis just to be on the safe side. Kelly writes in, thoughts on molecular hydrogen seems to be all the rage. Not too sure. If you have some info on it, let me know. Send me a link and I'll take a peek at it and give my opinion live. I mean, this is functional medicine improv here, so we're just keeping it real. What might cause skin breakouts after starting probiotics? Great question. Phenomenal question, MK. I would say the probiotics could be crowding out some critters. Could be crowding out some critters. Could be doing it too fast where you're creating a lot of bloating. You're kind of pushing out a lot of these critters out of their ecological niche, and it's creating a little too much inflammation. So I'd come off it and I'd taper them back in a little bit slower. And you may want to throw in some activated charcoal in between your meal. So if you take probiotics in the morning and at night, maybe take them in between your breakfast and lunch and dinner. That could be a really good option for you. Juan writes in, cloudy urine in the peas at random. I've been happening here throughout the year. Every heavy sediment that floats the bottom of urine. I would get a microscopic urinalysis. That's what I would do. Acid reflux, what to do? A lot of podcasts on this, Cynthia, a lot of podcasts. I'll keep it really simple. Make sure your stomach acid's up. Make sure you cut the inflammatory foods out of your diet and then get a good stool test. There could be some SIBO or H. pylori hanging around. You know what I mean? How to get rid of acid in the body? Well, that's kind of a loaded question because acids necessarily aren't that bad, right? I mean, grains are 10 times more acidic than meat. Everyone thinks, oh, meat's so bad, it's an acid, right? Well, grains are 10 times more acidic, right? Because the pH scale is logarithmic, right? When you go from a pH of 4 to 5, it's not a 1 increment, it's a 10 increment, right? So not too worried about it. Go check out my podcast where I interviewed Dr. Robert Rakowski. He talked about this. Most of the inflammation in your body is going to come from most of the pH shift in your body will come from inflammation. Minor food shifts, I'm not worried about it unless you're eating a whole bunch of crappy inflammatory foods. Healthy meats, lots of veggies, not worried about the acidic load with that. Non-issue for me. But if you're doing a whole bunch of trans fat and a whole bunch of crappy foods, I mean, go run around the block, do a sprint, and then go test your pH. I mean, you're going to see some acidity in that pH after you exercise. Is exercise bad now? No, not bad at all. Got to keep it in context. Grains cause me acid reflux. Not surprised. You and a lot of people. How do you feel about Kratom? I think if, people are using Kratom to get off of opioids. I mean, I think using maybe a CBD or maybe a Kratom could be helpful. I think you're exchanging one evil for another, but I think it's a lesser evil. I think CBD's maybe a little better. So I would try Kratom. If you can switch down to CBD, I think that's great. I also think making sure your amino acids are good, because if you're in chronic pain, you probably depleted a lot of your DLPA, your beta endorphin amino acids. I'd really make sure the amino acids are good and the gut's doing good, because if you have a bottleneck with getting amino acids into your body, that's going to be a problem. Let's see here. Cynthia writes in. Let's see. Mary writes in. Grains cause me acid reflux. Yeah, I answered that one totally. I believe it. I have a question. I'm suffering from eosinophilic gastroenteritis due to antibiotics. Now I'm on the treatment for a special diet. Is it possible after healing, can I eat everything like before? Well, I need to know, what does everything like before mean? Is that like a standard American diet with a whole bunch of 10 servings of grains a day? Wouldn't recommend that anyway, even if you could. Number two is yeah, I mean, you probably got a rebound overgrowth. I mean, eosinophilic, the high amount of eosinophils are going to be caused by food allergens, inflammation, maybe parasites. So I would look at maybe doing a comprehensive stool test like my GI map. I would look at tightening up your diet, getting your digestive support going, and see how you do. And then we could come to a conclusion on what the next step is. No antibiotic chicken, really healthy. I think it is antibiotic chicken really healthy. But anyway, is antibiotic free chicken? So if you're eating healthy animal protein and there's no antibiotics in it, I think it's great. I think that's awesome. Ideally, pasture fed's better. Animals have a more biologically appropriate diet. That's a good thing. So I would start there. Again, good, better, best. If you don't have the ability to go organic or pasture fed, then just try to be free range, cage free then, and then just try to keep the hormones out. Charlotte writes in, how do you feel about oats? They have unique fiber for gut bacteria, and people like Dr. Rhonda Patrick include it in their meal plans. Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, I think if you're really gluten sensitive, definitely not. My wife's on a big oat kick right now. I mean, she's on it because it's really helping her lactation. It's really helping her breast milk supply. If it wasn't, I would not have her doing any oatmeal at all. But because it's helping the breast milk, it's okay. But oats have had a long history of being able to help with lactation. So I would try to choose a safer starch: squash, sweet potato, cassava, plantains. I always rather do a safer starch. I mean, if you want good bacteria, like resistant starch kind of stuff, you could always do, unripened plantain flour. Bob's or Weedoo's got a pretty good one. I think Weedoo's got a good one. That's really good for resistant starch. You can do cooled potato flour as well. Potato starch. That's a great one as well. What are inflammatory foods? Oh my gosh, that's such an open-ended question. Go look at my podcast and my videos on inflammation. Just put that, go to justinhealth.com and just put that into the search engine and you'll get so much content. So I can say like 1,000 words, or I can give you a podcast where I go over it for an hour. What test would you recommend for checking testosterone levels? Straight testosterone or free testosterone? Both. I would do free and total. Free and total. Robert writes in, I have lots of malabsorption, floating stool, no gallstone. Any advice? Yeah. HCl, enzymes, bile salts. Number two, get your gut tested, man. Go get a GI map. Go to justinhealth.com, click on the store button, and get a GI map ASAP. You're totally welcome, Cynthia. Mike writes in, no hormones, no antibiotic chicken, really healthy. Yeah, so if it's no antibiotics and no hormones, that's good. Ideally, pasture fed's one step up where they're actually eating bugs and they're eating a biologically appropriate diet. Monzi writes in, I started taking Chlorella and I started to feel palpitations. My nervous system is broken. Do you think it's because of the Chlorella? I feel like the symptoms are mercury toxicity. Well, you are going after a lot of mercury and stuff with the Chlorella. Again, binders tend to be pretty, they're not like aggressively detoxifying. I think you got to go back into the body system approach. You're doing it backwards. We got to hit the diet and lifestyle first. We got to work on body system one, the hormones, get the inflammation under control, deal with the gut second, and then deal with the metal stuff last. So we're going out of order there, Monzi. Mary, you're totally welcome. What is a good cure to cure fingernail fungus that's progressing rapidly? One, go check out my podcast and my video on toenail fungus. Of course, we can do my GI Clear 5, which is an emulsified oil of oregano. That's a good one to do. I have a fungal foot soak that I use for toenails as well, but I would do the oil of oregano for the fingernail to start. If we need to do a pharmaceutical like ketoconazole or a fluconazole cream, that may be a good option. If herbs aren't working to kill Giardia, could biofilm be present? Possible. That's why I always build into all my programs the ginger juice tea, because ginger is one of the most profound biofilm busters. Also, colloidal silver is a great biofilm buster as well. So adding those two in, I think, is profound. Hey, Spivey, good to see you back on today. Excellent. Cynthia writes in, she's from Indiana. Awesome. All right. Charlie writes in, finishing taking probiotics today. Should I do the GI map retest or wait a week? So again, once you're into probiotics, 4 weeks on probiotics, then retest. 4 weeks, then retest. And again, you should be on the ProBioFlora for at least 2 months. So 8 weeks, right? So as soon as you finish those probiotics, as soon as you finish your 4th week, your first bottle, get that lab test in, get it done, and then continue to stay on the probiotics until we chat next, Charlie. Hope that helps. All right, guys, any other questions? We already got 30 or 40 people on here now, which is pretty cool. I didn't even plan this. So any other questions, let me know. If not, I'm just going to do my thing and do my little functional medicine wrap. Any thyroid questions? Any SIBO questions, guys? What do you think? Anything else? Any suggestions for content, for videos, for podcast guests? What do you guys want to hear? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up while you're waiting. Give me a share. Smash that bell if you want to get more of these updates. I really appreciate it. YouTube's monkey with their algorithm, so you got to hit the bell to know when I'm going live. I appreciate it. What do you think, guys? How can I better serve y'all? What do you want to hear? Who do you want me to interview? Any other topics on your mind? I'll give you guys 30 seconds to think about it. I got a patient here, one more patient before I check out for the day. All right. No answers. That's fine. No worries. If you guys think of something, email my office@justinhealth.com. Let me know. They'll put it in the queue for you, and we'll have something to talk about next time. All right, guys. Hope all is well. Hope you enjoyed this last second chalk talk here. Hope you enjoyed the new camera. I think the quality is a little more crisp. We got the great audio here with my Audio Technica mic, so I appreciate that. Well, you guys all have a phenomenal day. It's beautiful in Austin. I mean, look at it. So fortunate. You guys take care now. Bye.